Hi, and welcome to the U.N.A.S. Midwatch podcast. Thanks for listening. If you're enjoying our podcast and would really like to help us out, please subscribe and leave a review wherever you are listening. It really does help us grow our audience. If you are on Facebook or Instagram, head on over and subscribe and follow us so you never miss an episode. We also have a Patreon available, so you can help us keep this podcast going. Just look us up and become part of the U.N.A.S. today. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
So anyways, yeah, this guy, I don't know why, but apparently when he showers, he puts mayonnaise in his hair.
What?
Yeah, like he lathers himself in mayonnaise. And I think he said something about it helps.
What kind of mayonnaise though? Like Hellman's, Duke's? Have you guys had Duke's mayonnaise?
I don't like mayonnaise.
No.
Oh, shit's amazing.
Oh, wait, is Duke's the one that has sriracha in it or something?
No, Duke's is just mayonnaise, but it just tastes better. And it's more of a southern mayonnaise.
So it's creamier.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways,
That's
yeah,
actually a thing, Southern mayonnaise.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
thought it was just either mayonnaise or Miracle Whip.
Well, it's just
Get
like
that
a lot
tang.
of Mexican places you'll go to. If they put mayonnaise on, they have it mixed in with some type of cayenne pepper or sriracha or something like that to put some spice into it.
What would you put mayonnaise on in a Mexican restaurant? I've never heard of that.
You'd be surprised. Now I don't know because I don't.
Mayonnaise
eat
is pretty
mayonnaise, but
universal.
Yeah, mayonnaise goes into a lot more things than
At a Mexican restaurant,
Yeah.
though, you have sour cream.
Mm-hmm.
Not
mayonnaise and
mayonnaise.
stuff. Yeah.
Oh, what the?
But anyways, yeah,
It's probably
this,
used for the cooking part and not like an additive.
yeah. But this guy, yeah, he puts mayonnaise in his hair and showers like that instead of using shampoo. And he was basically living with the chick for a month and kind of staying in a hotel, kind of staying with her. And she was super poor, and he would get all pissy if anybody asked him about money or anything like that. And he was like,
So is he not even rich?
no, he's not rich. He's American well off. Obviously, going to a place like the Philippines or something like that, the exchange is higher, right? But he wasn't super rich or anything like that. And then he didn't look anything like what he said that he looked like. And he said he told her that he wanted kids so that he could sleep with her, because that was a deal breaker for them.
Is that how that gets done?
And then that was the final straw that broke the camel's back for her, was when he said that he didn't want kids. And she was like, you've been lying to me for 80-something days or whatever stupidity the 90-day fiancé thing is. But yeah, she was upset and was like, I can't, deal with you, and you lie about everything and blah, 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 blah. And that picture that he was talking about is from the moment when they're talking, and he's getting all emotional and trying not to blow up. And it's kind of funny.
I mean, first off, this grimace-looking dude, if he was wearing a purple shirt, I want to say that I'm surprised that she stuck it out to day 80, whatever. Because if he was lying about all that, you think they'd step off the plane or out of the cab, she'd see him, oh my gosh, you catfished me, and then that's it.
Honestly,
Maybe she doesn't know what a catfish is.
Well, honestly, I think it probably did have something to do with money. Trying to get out of a poor area and whatnot. He was literally at her house, and it was third world country status. They didn't have
mail
electricity
order-ish,
and
except
stuff.
pickup only.
That's kind of what it came across
Carry out
as.
mail bride.
So the funniest part
awful.
about it to me was the fact that she is no, I'm calling this off. It's bro, you're that fucking unattractive and that dislikable of a person that she's I just want to get back to the States, but I'm not going to fucking do it through you.
See, so
Hey,
the
Meatloaf
mayonnaise
said it
thing,
best.
yeah,
Would do anything for love but that.
the mayonnaise thing. I've heard about mayonnaise being
anything for a green card,
except you.
but I won't do you.
What does that do to your psyche?
That's what I mean. And that
Like
he
that
was
guy's
so
psyche.
I can't believe that she won't love me. It's dude, she wasn't gonna love you anyways, man. Anyways.
Sorry.
Mayonnaise. I've heard about it being a hair treatment, like restoring oils and stuff in women's hair, but not as a shampoo. Like
Yeah,
also
dude,
using.
I've never heard mayonnaise.
or
I've
just
heard
eggs.
coconut oil.
Yeah, no, they like
Because
got
pretty
a
much anything with oil, I guess. Because I know eggs is one
oh,
thing.
yeah. They got a video of him in the shower, like from like the chest up, and this fucker just looks like a boulder, like not a strong boulder, like just a boulder, and he's like lathering his entire body with mayonnaise.
It's like one of those things in the yard where you think it's a rock, you pick it up, and then it's just really hard, compacted sand. Just,
or shit.
just crumbles.
Yeah, but
I've done
it
that.
like there was a moment when he like looks at the camera, and he is like lathered in mayonnaise, and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Big Ed.
Big Ed.
Big Ed.
That was his name.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And he was
Interesting.
5 foot. Was it fat?
Yeah.
I never watched the show.
I haven't
I'm kind of
actually.
intrigued now. Like, I want to go at least check out an episode or so.
I've seen the memes, but I've never seen the show, so I had like no idea where they were coming from.
I didn't know what it was in reference to. Like, I thought I was just getting old and outdated memes.
It's so weird they call him Big Ed when he's that small. He's fat. Don't get me wrong, but
Oh, did I tell you guys that my wife almost lost her arm at work?
no.
A couple weeks ago, they had a Class Charlie fire because one of the electrical panels where the wiring was on the inside caught fire because she secured the power, and then, good U.N.A.S.sian would be trained.
Immediately?
Pretty much, yeah. Like, jumped right on it. I was joking with her. I was like,
Without the procedure in hand.
No, of course not.
There's no, like, CSOS or EOS in the
Not,
presence.
not in the civilian world.
There's no T-shirt os.
Yeah.
T-shirt OS.
But anyway, so they've got this big, it's like a 10-stage press, basically.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And she was running some samples, and when she went to have the t-shirt go under the heater to like solidify the colors and stuff, the t-shirt caught fire, right? So she jumped to like, oh shit, let me put out the fire. And when she reached in, the equipment was on auto and yanked her arm underneath one of the next stages for the press, and like completely like pulled her in. And she was like sitting there with one arm like trying to slap out this fire and like loosen her other arm and try to get it done.
It's a trooper.
Not remembering to hit the emergency stop. That's when it clicked in her brain and went, oh, that was probably dumb. Hit the emergency stop, and then afterwards figure out how to get her arm out. And she like basically wrenched it out. But she stopped the fire from spreading to any of the other equipment or anything like that. So nothing actually really got messed up outside of a little bit in that specific spot. And her whole arm, like shoulder down to her wrist, is like black and blue and just fucking rough. Like, she didn't seriously get hurt. She just like...
She get time off?
Yeah, she's off right now.
I mean, like paid time off?
Mhm.
Because she like saved that business.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, they gave her a couple days paid. She's still right now.
That's good.
She's going to see how she feels at the end of the weekend, and if she's ready to go back to work, she's going to go back to work.
So there's a T-shirt fire and an electrical panel fire? Like two fires?
Two separate times.
But she's only been working there for...
A couple of weeks.
So a fire a week.
Basically,
Literally,
Yeah, pretty
she's
much.
averaging threatening situation. once
These
every
were not
5 days.
anything that she did. This was equipment stuff.
No, but still.
But, yeah. Now, I told her, I was like,
I'd be
you
fine to
have
get another job.
You have made yourself so valuable to this company.
Yeah, I would definitely quit.
I mean, she likes the job, and it's just a case of... I know that it sounds bad, obviously, with what happened, but they're still learning some of the stuff on how things need to be set up properly and, like, how certain machines run and whatnot. Like, it's not like they have technical manuals like we have that break everything
So,
down
like,
to
during the
basic specs.
interview, the boss is like, hey, listen, if you're afraid of getting all burned up and whatnot, this job may not be for you. But if you're okay with a little bit of scarring,
You like some pain, a
And
little S&M,
growing.
a little slap and
you're
tickle.
going to fit right in. This will be good for you.
It pays pretty well.
I mean, pay's one thing, but pay is not everything.
Oh, yeah,
and
for
if
sure.
my safety has been put in harm's way in the last, say, 2 weeks, and 2 things have happened, I'm going to go on a limb and say this place is probably a dangerous place to work.
Yeah, hopefully she didn't cheat death, and this is some final
Right.
destination.
However, she also has admitted freely that the reason her arm got grabbed the way it did is because she forgot to hit the emergency stop. If she would have hit the emergency stop, it would have been as simple as, all right, grab the fire extinguisher, put it out, everything's cool. But either way,
But when you think about emergency stop, though, and forgetting, that's really not her fault, because in that moment of emergent thinking,
She
like
acted.
you said, is fight, flight, or freeze
Yeah.
situation.
Growing up in
She flailed.
an area where plant working is really big, because growing up in Michigan, all the car plants and all that, a lot of people will lose fingers and toes and arms and everything and still continue to go to the job just because they don't know any better or they don't think they can get anything. One of my uncles worked at one of the plants, actually a couple of different plants, before they all shut down up there. He had one finger on one hand and two fingers on the other. Just kept working there.
Dang.
8 fingers ago, I would have said, this is too much. My
Yeah.
phalanges are way more important than a paycheck.
That's fair.
But yeah, he just continued to worked there for 35 years.
Oh, maybe now.
Only
he can
to
go
get a watch for retirement.
or Ripley's, believe it or
Which
not.
was actually easier for him to put on, because yeah.
I mean,
does he have a thumb to prevent it from slipping off?
Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe it's just like the dad in me, that if I rolled up on my daughter's place and like came to her and I saw her like arm all fucking bruised up, and then she tells me these stories, I'm like, you need to quit. Because, okay, 1 incident, freak accident, got it. 2, that soon, probably borderline safety. 3, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
but she
a
hasn't
third
gotten her
thing
third
happens.
yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if a third thing happens.
But you're also
sure.
talking about a daughter that you have Overwatch on, and young, innocent, naive mentality.
But I would
needs
also
you to
know if
step
she's
up.
like dumb or he's dumb, and I'm like, you're not smart enough to work at a place like this. You
Hmm.
don't watch yourself enough.
Yeah, but with her, like, she's grown ass woman, adult, can make
True,
that decision and
but
knows that's a
As a dad, I'd
accident
still be like,
versus
hey,
hazard.
why don't you look for another job? If I need to, I'll support you for a good couple weeks.
So she has assessed the risk, right? And she's going to go back.
What's the
Look
rack on this
over,
place?
yeah, look
What's
over the
risk
mitigation.
assessment code? I saw where you were going with that.
So stupid.
Yeah, the rat code of 3. I mean,
With mitigations, it comes down to a 3, but we're at a 4 right now.
and then next time I print, we're just going to do a quick safety brief, and everything will be fine after
Yeah.
that because we briefed it.
Yeah, I think for me it'd be one thing if it was a blatant safety violation, like this business isn't doing stuff in accordance with type thing. And it's different when it's like, oh shit, like either that was partially your fault or it was just a freak thing that popped up.
Well, I agree. Like, I'm not saying she should quit, like, right now. I've worked plenty of manual labor jobs, and in manual labor where there's machines and human interaction tends to be dangerous, just like inherently. I've seen hammers get dropped on people's heads from 3 stories up. So
Hey, where's Leon at?
How would that that would hurt?
he had something to do. I don't know.
I haven't seen him in days, actually.
Speaking of, how do you guys like living in the shop?
I mean, it's nice. Could be better, but
Feel free to leave.
I think it could be better. I think it's nice. It's actually cold. There's AC.
Well, we got
Not
to keep all the computer stuff cold.
Right, but usually where we're hanging out, I'd be sweating through my shirt and my blouse the whole time.
The only complaint that I actually have is I wish that the ventilation in here was a little better, because when Leon has his destructive days, that definitely stays in the shop.
Is what it is. I'd complain, but
Well, J-Lo,
I'm
You want a
pretty
fan
sure.
blowout, not his blowout.
yeah, J-Lo loves it, every time he comes down to take care of the toilet, but
I like it. We used to have this thing over in the corner before I fixed the air conditioning. It was something we used, but we didn't really use all that often up in combat. You can actually turn off the processors so it doesn't boot up, but if you turn on the rest of the cabinet, it actually heats up the entire space. This cabinet is so hot that it makes the room 10 degrees warmer.
that sounds terrible.
I like the fact that you're using expensive
Equipment.
federal
yeah.
weapon system equipment to, it's okay if a circuit card fries. At least I'm warm.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about it is you don't boot up the processors or turn them on. Like, all the heat is generated from the power supply.
You're like, oh, There's a
You just got
couple
so
fins on it.
more technical than he was ready for.
Crazy how cold it would get, and especially in the wintertime. Me and Leon would just turn this on. It raises the temperature in here about 10 degrees, which makes it extremely comfortable.
You know what I think is weird is like when it is summertime, but you're inside in the dark under blue lights 5 hours later and you're cold, you know, like in your normal nighttime bedroom settings, whatever. But then you forget that it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon until you step outside and it's bright and your eyes hurt and it's hot as fuck.
Got your jacket pulled up to your neck, trying to just insulate yourself, and then you step outside and hiss.
I would do that on purpose. Just walk around, just walk outside with the jacket on, especially when we were underway. And people be out there like sweating, standing on the side of the ship, painting, coveralls, half-mast, dying in this heat. I'd walk out with a jacket and just be like, oh my god, it's so warm out here. Oh, just gotta sit out here for a few minutes before I go back in.
I can't sit out here too long, though. I don't want to get sweaty.
Right, then it'll be cold.
That's what makes you cold.
Yes, that'll make me more cold, you know. You guys wouldn't understand that struggle, though.
Love that part. So what else is up? You guys been doing anything? That's good. Nice to hear.
I'm sorry, I spaced out for a second.
Have you guys been doing anything this last week?
Besides helping you put in the code?
Well, I mean, it's not really helping. It's your job now.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to go get some caffeine. You guys want something?
Yeah.
Sure, I
What do
could
you want?
always use some pick-me-up.
What do you want? Coffee? Good talk. I'll go
Oh, you're talking to me? Sorry.
Talking to
I
all
zoned out. I guess I need caffeine too. Yeah, sure. Whatever.
Okay. Black coffee?
Yeah, that's
cream
fine.
and sugar.
Yeah, cream
Just
and
bring
sugar.
me all the creams and the sugars. I'll mix it myself.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Just
always good.
bring a lot of it.
I don't need that
Okay,
much,
Ron
but
Swanson.
yeah.
All right, I'll be back. Hey guys, I'm back.
Sweet, thanks.
You sexy deviants, you.
Deviants.
Here's your
Why is that
coffee.
so funny?
Have you not heard?
Heard what?
That you're a terrible person.
Yeah,
a
you
deviant.
are a pervert.
You said
and a
sexual.
deviant.
You said
and-
sexy deviant, like a sexual deviance, like a fetish.
No, he
Not
called you a
exactly.
sexy deviant, but not a sexual deviant. But you are, as enlisted, technically, according to this 03 in the U.N.A.S. over in Japan, deviant because you're enlisted.
And a molester.
Oh yeah, and a
And a
molester.
pervert.
What?
And a drunk.
What are you talking about? So this 03 this is a non-minor captain in Japan.
Yep. You know how we just started up that new base in Japan? Well, the old base, and we took it over.
Yeah, they basically just like took down the Navy sign and put up a U.N.A.S. sign. It's the exact same over there now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
So
like
what does that
same,
have
same,
to
but
do
different.
with all this name calling?
So, long story short, or I guess in your case, short story long, this 03 has to live in enlisted housing. right?
Because of
Okay.
like crowding or something like that.
Yeah, I've actually
Well, yeah,
lived on this
so
base.
we combine the bases. That's expected.
Yeah, I live on,
Sure.
or I used to live on this base, so I know exactly the area he's talking about.
Okay.
The townhouses on base are super, super limited. And if there's no townhouses available, they put them into the enlisted apartments until a townhouse opens up, right?
Okay.
This guy wrote a letter to the director of base housing stating why
Bitchin'.
he should not live in enlisted housing. And this guy's like a medical officer at the hospital, right?
Isn't it the same way down in Florida though? Like if there's housing available, good for you. If not, we can put you up here or go out in town. Like
Well,
isn't
that's-
this standard across the U.N.A.S., right?
That's the difference about living in Japan, though, is that they don't really let you move out in town. Like
Okay.
you used to be able to live out in town super easy, but because of how expensive it is, they try to make you live on base.
But either way, we consolidated to one service and
Mhm.
everyone migrated to the same base.
Yeah, and basically they have like these apartment buildings, And if you can't have a townhouse yet, they move you into this apartment building until they're ready, right?
Okay.
And he wrote this letter to the director of base housing and was like, the most stereotypical, pretentious officer thing that you could imagine would be in this letter is in this letter.
Everything, literally. Like,
Yeah, but
we joke about me being pretentious and all that, but this is awful.
Well, we say deviant because it's said like 27 times in this letter.
Degen from up country. Oh yeah.
It's like a solid like 2-page letter.
So he's actually like thinking this about
like
he's swarmed by deviants, like he's just subjected to
Drunks.
Skid Row.
Like he can't even walk outside
exactly.
because like he can't walk through the apartment building with his young and attractive family, his own words, because of all these enlisted deviants that might take advantage of how attractive his family is.
Take advantage of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
and they're all perverts and rapists and
gang
deviants
members
and gang members and drug users.
Drug users, drug addicts.
So literally he's describing Skid Row,
Mhm.
and he's saying that we're all a bunch of criminals?
Pretty
Because
much.
we're enlisted.
What?
And how
This dude has to be a
it is
ring knocker,
detrimental
not a
to
Rutzen.
his family, his wife, and his children because they are not being brought up and socialized around other officers' wives and children because those are good people and they are held to a higher standard than the deviant enlisteds are.
What? Wait, isn't it the officer who's the boss of the enlisted, the ones like setting those standards, so to speak?
Like threatened to blackmail without threatening to blackmail because he was like, my integrity as a U.N.A.S. officer will not allow me to see something and not say something to the proper people and make sure that people are held accountable to the Uniform Code of Military Justice and blah 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 blah.
Okay.
It was like the most pretentious, douchey, like, if I see anything, I'm going to report it and I'm going to make sure that person goes to mast.
Yeah.
I wonder if this guy has to be former Air Force, because I know that their housing situation differs, that they get paid extra if they're subjected to substandard living conditions. So I wonder if he just came to U.N.A.S. with that mentality already.
I haven't personally verified this, but I've seen people talking about it, is that this guy used to be enlisted in the Air Force.
Seriously.
That's so
What?
Yeah.
aggravating.
And the dude got his degree, went to medical school, got out of the Air Force, and then came back in as an officer to be a medical officer.
So he's throwing shade on himself? He got out of that life? He's a true rags to riches
Yeah,
case?
basically what it is that he was a deviant for many, many moons, and
Saw the
then
light of day.
he got out and went to college, and his piece of paper makes him superior and less of a deviant. So my question is this: if I take away that piece of paper,
It's cardstock, so yeah.
yeah, if I take away that piece of
is-
paper, do you turn back into a deviant? Is that like how
No.
werewolves work?
Because it's cardstock.
Right.
That's fair.
With Old English font on it. So once you have that,
I mean, oldie is delicious.
It is hilarious to read. Like, it is the most... Like, if you were to write a letter for something fake, right? Like a movie or a podcast or something, acting like something other than yourself, right? And you were acting like an officer. This is probably the letter that you would write to sound as douchey and pretentious as humanly possible. But it actually happened.
Yeah.
where did you guys publish
It's
that?
all online.
Yeah.
Like, it's been memed. People have commented about it. It's been passed around the entire internet.
Social media engaged.
Yeah. I mean, check my Book of Face. I've got a video on there for it.
I'm
This is the
gonna
angry
have to.
core guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking love that guy.
Yeah.
They're trying to say that it was actually his wife that wrote the letter, and that English isn't her first language, so a lot of the translations didn't quite come through the way they were supposed to.
So she wrote deviant, but she meant fuckface.
And rapists and
So my question, if you're calling in the attention of your attractive family, that
That's
means
so
to me,
gross.
well, and that's where they're trying to say
Well, that's
that
what
the
I'm saying.
wife's first language not being English, like that was a mistranslation. Like there isn't really.
Translation or not.
It's like when somebody's like, "There's not really a word in the English language for what I'm trying to say to you right now." You know,
I mean, I don't want to get off on
whatever
a
it was,
tangent
it wasn't
here,
good.
But however you try to write it, like there's a
But he signed
obviously difference between like a 17, a 10, and a 4-year-old. But
He
you
signed
can
it,
look
though.
at a kid and be like, "Oh, that's a cute kid," but you don't say that's an attractive kid because then
Agreed.
it's super creepy.
That is.
Now, he signed the letter.
Yeah. He
So
signed it.
either A, he signed it and was an idiot and didn't read the letter.
Or he's an
It's an
idiot
officer.
and wrote it.
I mean,
He
I
wrote
have
it.
signed plenty of
Now
U.N.A.S.
it's an
documents without
excuse.
reading it.
Or the wife forged his signature. Now, if the wife forged the signature, that is punishable by law. Forging a commissioned U.N.A.S. officer's signature on a
Correct.
document, right?
What if it was a manuscript, that first rough draft of a character she was making?
Oh my god.
Could be a good defense.
Not a good defense.
I like lost my train of thought for a second because I imagined someone standing in front of a judge and be like, no, hear me out.
Sorry, that was a playbill that you were reading.
I was writing a script, and that was the document for my commentary.
That was my character development. You know, I was trying to establish my character. Imagine that your wife does this and sends out a letter.
Yes.
And you had no fucking clue this thing went out. How pissed would you be?
Her own piece of paper, only this time it says plaintiff and defendant.
Right? Like, that's like me, like, writing up something and signing it as you, and then, like, putting it out on the internet. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're like, I didn't do that. What are you talking about? Like, that is even funnier to me, that he had no clue. And he went into work the next day, and everyone's like, what is wrong with you? And he's like, why is everyone treating me weird?
So has that been determined yet? Like, did he or did she?
The official last thing that I saw for it was that they were saying that she wrote the letter and he signed it.
No, well,
Without
Now-
reading or...
I have
Amplification.
heard through the
don't know.
grapevine that he went up and got charged with the U.N.A.S. Code of Military Justice, Articles 92, 133, and 134.
All those are still the same, right? It's a 92.
Yeah, they just changed the name.
So, you said that he was a doctor?
PhD.
Oh, that type of doctor. I thought you meant like
That's why I
a
believe
medical doctor.
that he was doing this. I don't believe he's...
That sounds like a doctor with a PhD, or a
Yeah.
officer with a PhD would
Yes.
talk.
So what kind of officer was he? Because if he's on Japan, he's got to be some support staff, right?
Yeah.
He worked at the hospital. I don't know exactly what it
Wait.
was.
There's a U.N.A.S. hospital over there.
Right. So was he a doctor? Like
I
a-
think so, yeah.
Yeah. Doctor.
So a
Doctor.
PhD doctor.
Doctor.
Yeah,
Doctor.
I concur, doctor. So that even brings in this whole nother level of things. So he's in charge of the care and health of the deviants that he disrespects. God, this is mind blowing. How
Yeah.
did I not know about this?
How many officers we know that the moment you bring this up to them, it's like just a facepalm moment. They're like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I said
It's
it in
like
front
the
of the
Start
camera.
biggest
rubbing their
black
temples.
eye.
Like,
Yeah.
why couldn't they just go up in the air and make a big old twig and berries chemtrail?
Oh, the penis one. Yeah.
The airplane.
Um,
I wonder how many
I think the
officers were
worst
like,
part,
oh, God, why did
though-
he expose the truth? He said what we're all thinking, damn it.
it's only supposed to be talked about and whispered in the wardroom.
During the initiation.
No, I don't believe
Over
that
the
at all.
deviant
I think
blood.
there's plenty of good officers out there that probably are looking at this guy the same way we are right now. I'm glad that he got out because, I mean, you know how the internet is. The culture of passing on information so fast. Good, bad, indifferent, truth or not, we have that habit of sharing, hitting that share button and passing it on super fast. And even if we find out we were wrong, we don't redact any of our statements.
Or
So-
it's in small print on the back page. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
this
You know
wasn't
whose
true.
opinion on this I would really like to know? What was the dude's name who took all of our pictures? Who was actually super chill?
Oh, James?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I bet we could talk to him about that, and he's like, oh, sweet Jesus.
Well, 100%.
So,
But let me
But-
finish this real quick. I'm glad that he got kicked out, or is getting kicked out, or hopefully he gets kicked out, whatever it is. Like I said, as fast as we pass on information, do you really think that he could have anybody take him seriously if they worked for him ever again?
Oh, no. And that's part of it for me. If he truly didn't know,
That's even
that's
worse.
a divorce waiting to happen. Like,
Yeah.
you walk home and you're like, here's the fucking divorce papers. What do you mean? I'm getting kicked out because of your dumbass.
Yeah.
Like, because you were unsatisfied living in this house. And the worst part is I saw it a lot when I lived there. A lot of the officer spouses were like that. They're like, well, I just don't understand why I have to live in the apartments with the enlisted. I'm an officer's wife. I'm supposed to be able to live out in the
You
houses.
respect my rank and salute me coming through the gate.
Yeah.
Here's another thing, too. If he's talking about, like, the officers held to a higher standard, like, just the irony behind it of the standard that's being set and making an example out of him to uphold the good order and discipline.
I like to imagine that he clicked the button to send that or dropped it off in the mailbox or whatever.
Save
It was
And, like,
draft.
That was a written letter.
Yeah, and he like snickered to himself and was like,
Oh, like a handwritten. This is
Handwritten letter. This
Yeah.
wasn't typed.
Oh my god, this gets
This
better and
is
better.
Old school, handwritten letter.
and signed officer blah
signed-
blah blah
yeah,
PhD.
Everything.
Block letters or cursive.
Cursive.
Yep.
So it could be a wife.
I like to imagine that he did this and just like walked away snickering and chuckling like I told them. And then like for a split second he had a moment that was like, what if this comes back to bite me? No,
No.
it's the Deviants problem. I'm the solution.
I didn't electronically send this, so it should be fine.
Yeah.
And I think that's a mentality nowadays. Like sending a letter, like there's no such thing as scanners, but
I kind of want to know, like, get down to the bottom of this mystery. Was it him? Was it her? What's next?
I actually kind of want to meet the guy.
Like, tune in next week's
Like
Navy Times.
show up, not say that I'm in the
Military
U.N.A.S.
U.N.A.S.
also,
times.
and just start talking to him. And they're like, "Hey, what's up? How are you? Nice to meet you. Oh, you're a doctor? That is so cool. I'm a sexual deviant.
Right.
Degens from upcountry, all enlisted."
And then knowing his wife is attractive, just be like, so, what's she into?
well, attractive to him. We don't know if I've never seen her.
That's
No,
also
true.
true.
She could be very attractive to him, and I don't even know what this dude looks like. So,
Well, I mean, the whole family's attractive, so I'm assuming he
well, that's
is.
what I'm saying. In his eyes, his whole family is bangable to everybody else. I don't know. It's a weird kind of a story to follow.
Yeah, like,
but-
the descriptors there are...
Yeah, you really should find the letter online and read it, because it'll make your blood boil a little bit. Especially you. You've been enlisted the longest out of all of us. In his eyes, you're a piece of shit.
I mean, I've dealt with plenty of wardrooms that have held that throughout the years. Held that opinion,
I have
should say.
too, but
Yeah, but
not
to be
this
that overt
blatant
about it.
Yeah, blatant and overt, and putting it down on paper. Saying it is one thing, like you're just talking out of your ass to somebody. Like I had an XO who hated the E7 mess on one of my last ships before I joined the U.N.A.S. And he even said it during the check-in process to me. I was in E5 at the time.
What?
He asked me how I felt about the E7 mess, and I said I fully believe that a good E7 mess can make a ship run well. And then he said, well, to be honest, I don't like the Chief's mess. And
I was about to say that too, like going back to my Navy roots.
Yeah.
Chief's mess.
I don't like the Chief's mess. I don't think I need him. And I tell you, I liked him as an XO or a CO, but I didn't like him as an XO. The morale on that ship was very horrible. So to kind of wrap this all up, that same XO that hated the old Navy chief mess and didn't think they were very good, to show you the similarities between him and that guy, that the U.N.A.S. officer, they both were prior enlisted. This XO happened to only make it to E5 before he went officer. So somewhere around in there, he just hated his chief, moved up to officer, and did not like the entire mess. Funny that prior enlisted going officer, now he's looking down on those enlisted.
Like
I'm not
I
saying
was-
that's the norm, because it's not. Because I've ran into several prior enlisted officers that know how hard the enlisted ranks work and appreciate it.
Yeah, but this is the downside, and this goes for anybody doing anything. But those good people affected you, and only you know about it. This bad apple of the bunch is spoiling the whole bushel, and now everybody knows it. Like, his name will be infamous for the next who knows how long.
Yeah.
And then,
He's going to be the staple of what we make fun of in officers in the U.N.A.S. for the immediate future.
especially because, now, if I'm not mistaken, by what you're describing, is he was doing that preemptively before ever showing up, right?
Yeah, basically it was in preparation of, like, he was trying to get it to where he didn't even have to move in. And one of the things that was in the letter was, I've talked to a couple officers at my command that are getting ready to move out of enlisted housing into townhomes, so I think I should just move into one of those instead of letting them move out.
Let me circumvent those guys with
Not
seniority.
only am I better than all the enlisted people in the U.N.A.S., I'm better tin my fellow U.N.A.S. officers.
Yeah, even though they have
He has a
tenure.
PhD.
So I wonder if he's even going to continue to transfer out there.
Well, that's what I'm
Save
saying.
himself.
He got articled out, I believe. I think he's getting kicked out.
Dang. Or asked to resign. I wonder how many years he has in if he's prior enlisted.
Don't know. Obviously, he wasn't prior enlisted enough, so I don't know.
He's not deviant enough.
Yeah.
He wants more deviance.
He didn't have enough deviantness under his belt.
What a douchebag.
Oh.
I say we stop talking about it. We'll just end on the note that we can all agree
that we hate
he's a douchebag. Don't know him,
No.
but he sucks as a human.
As a human, yes. Anyways, so we should watch that 90-day fiance stuff because I want to know about this Big Ed guy.
Wasn't 90 Day Fiance, or no, never mind. Wasn't there a game show?
Good talk.
Well, no, I thought it was 90 Days where they had to get to know each other, but they couldn't see each other. Or maybe that was only like 30 days or whatever. But they basically talked to each other through a wall. But they were all secluded in
That
like
might
a
have been
cubicle.
how it started. I don't know.
So how did the TV show find them?
Basically, I guess they did some type of like casting call type thing. Like, if you're in this type of situation, let us know. And they funded the entire trip, the everything, for them to be able to document the 90 days.
Huh.
So she was in it for the paycheck anyway. She waited till day
Sounds
80
like he
something.
was in it for the paycheck and he got her to join. Because if they're doing a casting call, they probably did it in California. Is this dude from California?
The best part about it to me is that Big Ed is trying to capitalize on his memeness from the show, and now has started a YouTube channel where he does mukbangs. You know
What?
that is?
No.
A
Yeah,
mukbang?
it is like the worst thing in the world. What is probably the dumbest thing that you could think of somebody recording themselves doing?
Two
on
girls, one cup.
YouTube. The dumbest thing that somebody could record by themselves of them doing and upload it to YouTube. What is the biggest waste of time you can think of?
I don't even know
Making
because I've seen
themselves
so
cute.
much online
Mhm.
that, yeah, like,
Guaranteed you've seen these videos. Not purposely, but you've at least heard of them. It's literally buying as much food as humanly possible and just eating on camera. And, like, disgusting, like
ASMR
shove your-
stuff?
Not exactly. Like, they're just shoving their faces full of food as much as they can possibly eat and just talking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like
And,
a,
like,
like a vlog?
like-
Disgusting eating like a horse at a trough.
Both.
And
He's talking?
'Cause I've
Why
seen, like-
Is he talking about the food at
Talking
least?
about, not like this dude, like, the mukbang channels have become like a meme in their own where people make fun of them with videos, right? This guy was trying so hard that, like, he was eating ribs or something, and he purposely, like, rubbed a rib, like, all across, like, his face and, like, his four chins on the way
fuck?
down, and was like, oh, it's so messy. Yeah.
maybe that's what I've seen. Because I've seen one where they like lather themselves up in mashed potatoes.
What kind of
Like,
porn are you
grating
watching?
yourself. I don't even know.
I can safely say that I've never searched that category.
Well, I'll tell you what. If I was to search it, it would be whipped potatoes. So
One
let's
person
not
has
be unreal.
potatoes in their mouth, the other person has gravy in another place.
All right. Well, I
Make
think I'm
the
gonna
mashed
throw up.
potatoes and gravy.
What did you call it? Mukbang?
It's called mukbang.
Man, I am behind.
It is the
curve.
weirdest,
I need
dumbest
to-
thing. I thought it was something made up for a long time until we were just scrolling random, like, recommended videos on YouTube, and I saw one, and I was like, what the fuck? I've heard this. What is
Wait, but
this?
your recommended videos are based on algorithms and prior searches. So
Yeah,
what
but-
got you there?
You know how, like, sometimes there's, like... I actually had a theory on this for a long time before YouTube came out, and it actually confirmed it. So your recommendeds are based off of the hashtags that are under the videos that you watch. And we watch everything on, like, the Fire Stick at home, right? So you don't even see the hashtags. But people will put hashtags that have absolutely nothing to do with what you're watching
Well,
on
yeah,
there to
'cause
try
it
to get
gets
more people.
More people to look at.
So if you've ever looked at your recommended and you're like, why in the fuck is this thing popping up on here? It's It's probably because some video you watched, somebody had a random hashtag that has nothing to do with their video, but trying to pull in search results, which then in turn feeds the algorithm, tries to push more things with that hashtag to you. Because I get that every so often. I'll get something, I'm like, I have no clue where this came from. You know,
or at least that's what you tell your wife. You're like, God, I thought I deleted that history.
Oh, I don't know why that person has mashed potatoes in their mouth and this person has gravy.
I swear,
and that person has
it was
corn.
Whipped potatoes.
This is gross.
I'm kind of hungry.
All right, well, let's go. Because I'm both grossed out and hungry at the same time.
That's an uncomfortable place to be.
Yeah. Like, I want to eat, but I don't want to eat. And if I do eat, I'll feel gross about eating.
What if we go up there and all they have for dinner is mashed potatoes and gravy?
You get one plate, I'll get the other.
I'll get the
And we'll
gravy,
make
you
it
get
in
the
the
mashed
middle.
potatoes.
You just, like, high-five the 2 plates together.
You know, if you do it fast enough, that might actually work.
That's what I'm saying. I want to try it.
Fuck it, let's get out of here.
All right.
Later, y'all.
Well, are you coming with us?
Not yet.
Oh.
Is there corn?
Oh.
God.
Gross. As always, thanks for listening. If you're enjoying the show, please go and rate a review. It really does help the show out. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at U.N.A.S. Midwatch Podcast or Twitter at U.N.A.S. Midwatch. Leave us a message or a word that Drew has to look up. CMG Doom, played by Robert Williams. Holy Petty Soldier, Chris Pike, played by Christopher Sharp. Second Sergeant Drew Scrolls, played by Andrew Mingione. Second Sergeant Leon, played by Chris Short. Logo created by Natascha Mingione. Music owned by James Clifford, created by Ian Host and Ride Free. Thank you for listening to U.N.A.S. Midwatch.